What if the whispers of ancient civilizations could echo through time, and you were the only one who could hear them? In the silent expanse of space, beings of pure vibration drift, collecting the forgotten sounds of the cosmos. But when one of them discovers a question that refuses to fade, it sets off a chain reaction that could change the universe forever. In the vast, cold expanse of interstellar space, where stars flicker out and worlds crumble into oblivion, there exist beings unseen and unheard by any living soul. They are the Archivists, entities of pure vibrational essence, drifting silently through the cosmos. Their forms are not fixed, but composed of shifting, shimmering layers that capture the faintest echoes of sound scattered across the universe. To them, the vacuum of space is not an emptiness, but a rich tapestry woven with the remnants of ancient voices, forgotten melodies, and the last gasps of civilizations long gone. For eons, the Archivists have wandered from planet to planet, from the skeletal remains of space stations to the silent beacons of dead worlds, collecting audio fragments, radio signals, whispers, music, words recorded and abandoned. Their purpose is singular: to preserve. Not in some grand archive or library, but within themselves. Each archivist becomes a living repository of sound, a vessel of rhythm and resonance, carrying the echoes of the past into the endless future. Among these ethereal wanderers, one archivist, known as Lyria, stumbles upon a recording unlike any other. It is not merely a voice, but a question posed by someone or something that has long since vanished. The question does not fade away as the others have. Instead, it takes root within Lyria, pulsing with an insistent rhythm that begins to alter its very form. The vibrations twist and warp, and for the first time in its eternal existence, Lyria feels something akin to doubt. What is it to be a bearer of sound? Is it merely to preserve, or is there more? Lyria pondered, its form flickering with uncertainty. The question gnawed at the edges of its being, and Lyria found itself changing, evolving. It began to wonder, am I a keeper of echoes, or have I become the answer to a question long unanswered? As Lyria drifted through the cosmos, it felt a growing compulsion. The sound within it did not wish to be preserved in silence. It yearned to be heard, to resonate through the void and find an ear that can comprehend its meaning. Lyria was torn between its eternal purpose and this new, unfamiliar desire. What will happen if it allows the sound to escape? What if the question is meant to be answered, not stored away? Driven by this internal conflict, Lyria embarked on a journey unlike any it has undertaken before. It sought out the remnants of the civilization that once asked the question, hoping to find some clue, some context that will help it understand. Along the way, it encountered other archivists, each carrying their own burdens of sound. Some were drawn to Lyria's struggle, sensing the turmoil within it. Others recoiled, fearing the disruption of their eternal duty. One such archivist named Orlan was particularly intrigued by Lyria's plight. Orlan had always been a seeker, one who believed that the sounds they carried were meant for more than just preservation. Perhaps, Orlan suggested, we are not just meant to keep these sounds, but to understand them, to learn from them. Together, Lyria and Orlan traveled through the cosmos, seeking answers. They encountered ancient ruins, remnants of civilizations that had once thrived, but were now reduced to dust. In these ruins, they found more than just echoes. They found stories, fragments of lives lived and lost. They discovered that the question Lyria carried was not a random echo, but a deliberate message, a plea for understanding and connection. As they delved deeper into the mystery, they began to uncover fragments of a story, a tale of a civilization that sought to communicate with the future, to leave behind a legacy that would transcend time and space. The question it carried was not a random echo, but a deliberate message, a plea for understanding and connection. Lyria and Orlan realized that they were not merely vessels, but bridges between the past and the future. They had the power to bring the question to life, to give it a voice that could be heard across the cosmos. But to do so, they must defy the very essence of their existence. They must allow the sound to escape, to resonate freely, and risk losing themselves in the process. In a moment of profound decision, Lyria and Orlan released the question into the void. The sound waves rippled outwards, carrying the ancient query through the vast expanse of space. And then, something extraordinary happened. The question did not fade away. It was picked up by other archivists, who in turn released their own echoes, their own fragments of sound. A symphony of voices, long silenced, began to fill the cosmos. The archivists, who once were solitary keepers of the past, became conductors of a grand universal chorus. The question was heard, and answers began to emerge from the most unexpected places. Civilizations long gone, worlds forgotten, all found a voice once more. The archivists, who had once been content with their eternal duty, now felt a new sense of purpose. They were no longer merely preservers of the past, but also heralds of the future, carrying the voices of the forgotten into the endless possibilities of the cosmos. The question that once changed Lyria now resonated through them all, a testament to the power of sound and the enduring desire to be heard. But not all archivists were pleased with this newfound purpose.
A faction led by an ancient archivist named Moros believed that their duty was sacred and unchangeable. Moros argued that releasing the sounds into the cosmos was a violation of their eternal purpose, and that it would lead to chaos and the loss of their true selves. Moros and his followers began to hunt down Lyria and Orlan, seeking to silence the question once more. They believed that the only way to restore balance was to return to their original duty of preservation, without interference or change. Lyria and Orlan, now fugitives in the vast expanse of space, sought refuge among the stars. They found allies in unexpected places, other archivists who had long harbored doubts about their purpose and were inspired by Lyria's actions. Together, they formed a resistance, a group of archivists who believed in the power of sound to connect, to heal, and to bring meaning to the cosmos. The conflict between the traditionalists and the rebels grew, threatening to tear the very fabric of the archivists' existence. Battles were fought not with weapons, but with sound, vibrations that could shatter forms and reshape realities. The cosmos itself seemed to tremble with the intensity of the conflict. In the midst of this turmoil, Lyria and Orlan discovered an ancient prophecy hidden within the echoes they had collected. It spoke of a time when the archivists would face a choice: to remain as they were, or to evolve into something greater. The prophecy foretold of a great convergence, a moment when all the sounds of the cosmos would come together in a symphony that would reshape the universe. With newfound hope, Lyria and Orlan sought to fulfill the prophecy. They traveled to the heart of the cosmos, a place where the echoes of all civilizations converged. There they planned to release the ultimate sound, a symphony that would bring together all the voices of the past and present, creating a future where sound and meaning were one. As they prepared for the final act, Moros and his followers confronted them. A great battle ensued, vibrations clashing in a cacophony that threatened to tear the cosmos apart. But Lyria and Orlan stood firm, their belief in the power of sound unwavering. In the end, the symphony was released. The sound waves rippled through the cosmos, carrying with them the voices of countless civilizations. The Archivists, both traditionalists and rebels, were bathed in the light of understanding. The question that had once plagued Lyria was answered not in words, but in the harmony of the cosmos itself. The Archivists were forever changed. They were no longer mere keepers of the past, but guardians of the future, their forms now resonating with the symphony of the universe. They traveled the cosmos, not as solitary wanderers, but as a united force, their vibrations intertwined in a dance of sound and meaning. And so, the Archivists continued their eternal journey, but with a new understanding of their role. They were not just keepers of the past, but also heralds of the future, carrying the voices of the forgotten into the endless possibilities of the cosmos. The question that once changed Lyria now resonated through them all, a testament to the power of sound and the enduring desire to be heard. In the vast, cold expanse of interstellar space, where stars flicker out and worlds crumble into oblivion, the Archivists drifted, their forms shimmering with the echoes of a universe that was no longer silent. And in their journey, they found not just purpose, but harmony, a symphony of sound that connected all things, past, present, and future, in the endless dance of the cosmos.
Signal from X42 lost. Archive preserved. Subscribe will activate the next transmission. A like confirms the life cycle. Your comment is the code for the next decryption.